Boom, we are live. Welcome to another video. My name is Hans. Remember, I'm simply a random dude on the internet. And I do not give financial advice. So, with that being said, let's jump right into this video. Let's see if everything is cool. Yeah, everything looks perfect. So, in today's video, we are going to be checking out all of the hex charts, including hex on ETH, hex on ETH Fair. We'll look at the hex charts. We will look at the macro, including the dollar index, the strength of the dollar, of course. Some of the macro charts, including the SPY and the NASDAQ. And we will chat, so do put your questions in the chat. And let's get started. Okay, so firstly, something interesting, what's this dude's name? I actually forgot his name, but I'll give him a shout out on Twitter as well. So what are the most viewed coins on CoinMarketCap? Now, we know that they've been gatekeeping us. They're not our favorite friends, because they're owned by CZ from Binance, right? And the reason why I think they're not listing us on the right positions is because Hex incentivize you to take your coins off exchanges, right? And to stake it, rather than sitting in positions or constantly trading volume. So they can't really make money off Hex. And maybe the market cap has something to do with this. Now, this time frame is simply on the 24-hour. So could this be the Ivan on Tech interview? It could be. Now, this rich quack, whatever this is over here because it's trended like 230%. And we'll look at some of the coins that actually has taken off. I'm just going to pull it up, otherwise I forget. And I also wanted to take a look at the Bollinger Bands, the cipher, this market cipher indicator. It prints these green dots whenever it's a buy. Yeah, so we'll look at this. These Bollinger Bands are incredibly tight, and when they're this tight as they are, you tend to get a lot of volatility. And obviously we have Bitcoin pumping on the daily. Look how tight these Bollinger Bands are. So everybody thought the market is going to die and we're going to dump because we had this massive volatility on the CPI when the CPI data came out. Now, the CPI data is just so stupid because the interest rates have been incredibly low. And the thing with inflation is that the elites want inflation to be high. And they needed to have something happen in the world in the last 3 years for an excuse for the inflation to go up. I mean, it's all controlled. Even if it's, some people would say the inflation is nothing monetarily, it's simply to do with supply lines and the shippings and all of that was shut down. And obviously that's one of the reasons, and it was such an incredibly good excuse to start raising, or a way to start raising prices. You mean you just shut down global shipping and the prices of everything just skyrockets. Now more of the supply is coming on the market. I mean, even Nike, right? This is they've got so much stock on their shelves. They needed to start reducing their prices because they've got so much supply. Look at this. This is a 54% downtrend on Nike. I mean, everybody wears Nike. Everybody has at least one Nike clothing item in their closet. Okay, yeah. So we'll look at all of those things. Let's quickly go over to Bitcoin. This is the weekly chart. We can see strong bullish divergence. This is the cipher I was talking about. This indicator prints these green dots and divergences on the chart. And the last time we had divergences like these, but on the opposite side, was at the top here. It printed one from here all the way through here. So the price is going higher, but the indicators are going lower. This is divergences. In this case, it was bearish, right? And the price went down. Sense of morning hunts. You have a Crypto TA channel, watched a few of your videos already, learned new things. Thanks, appreciate your support. It's a pleasure, dude. I mean, I've got lots to learn from you as well. I mean, you watch all the indicators. I just play around with them every now and then. Yeah, so my history is I am what you would call a swing trader. I specialized in it's called the little old lady strategy, but I've changed it a bit over the years, and we've traded on this channel all the way through the 2018 bottom and the bull run, of course. And I actually sold my position down here. I closed all of my positions on the exchanges, and some of it. The rest, I went all in on post big payday on Hex. I was actually one of the, I should actually pull up the larger charts. I was one of the people that was playing this 100% gain that we would have gotten back here for the big payday, right? So I went in heavy in here. I put like all of my Bitcoin I had. I went literally all in. But I also, for the first time, I knew about Richard Hart since the Craig Wright confrontation that he did in Malta, where he confronted him. And I learned later that he was going to make his own coin. And I followed him, and I put like a small, like 0.2 Ethereum in the adoption amplifier day 5. And staked it for a year and forgot about it. But how I used to trade is that we would get in position in whatever coin when it was low on the, let's look at LTO. When it was at its reload zone, or the 61.8, I'll just take the Bollinger Band off. So I would wait for something to create that market structure. And this one's probably a bit better to look like. And then I would get into position when it gets back to the 61.8, the reload zone. And from there, I'd set my sell orders all the way up, selling off on a double into BTC. So that's kind of what, and we did really well. We made like 4,000% gains during the bull run. And just selling off on a double every time it doubles. And when it comes back to the reload zone, I'd get back in. And then I went all in on big payday, like right before, because I was playing that buy the rumor, sell the news event on Hex. And obviously we know what happened. We went down like 80%. So I was down horrifically. And when I started seeing the OA go into this and diluting our gains, like I freaked out, right? But I learned, and at that time the Crypto Sparbook guys and Karim and Wales only started talking about staking for long. That was the first time we actually started talking about doing 15-year stakes. And people were finally figuring out the game theory, right? So yeah, I then laddered for 6 months this underwater gain, and you can just see, like, after 6 months, I was like up heavily from here. I mean, even from here, we can just measure it. Let's change it to the monthly. So like I'm experiencing the same as that you guys experiencing that bought the top, right? It was like, yeah, 6 months we started and my first stake started coming out. What I then did is I created a staking ladder. And I remember, Senzuf, you also came in sometime this area where you started staking. And every day you were showing like how much you were making in your stakes. Like every day I saw you, it probably wasn't every day, but so consistent, I saw you making those videos, showing how much your stakes are worth and putting it on spreadsheets and all those things. So yeah, that is my story. So I come from the area of 2017, staying through that bear market, right? If you were here, and this cycle just repeats every time, right? All throughout here. I actually bought the top all the way up here, the expansion wave. And that's just how crypto works, right? Retail buys down markets. Yeah, retail buys, retail buys up markets, and institutions buy the down markets. And I dollar cost averaged all the way down until this dump happened. And I was a bit disillusioned by it. And I just kept on working. I had my day job either way. And then I started watching Da Vinci, right? And Da Vinci Jeremy, and started learning the swing trading method. And they actually called this bottom perfectly. Him and the rational investor, Brian Beamish. You guys go check him out on YouTube, Brian Beamish, the rational investor. Yeah, I'm not telling you to trade, right? It's just, this is just the path that I took, right? So you can know a bit of what I'm talking about and where I come from. And yeah, sold off, went into all of the altcoins versus BTC, of course, because we wanted to make more BTC. And every time it doubled against BTC, sold half on a double every time on the altcoins. From FTM, Dogecoin, pretty much all of those upcoming coins we traded. And then where was Big Payday on the chart? This was Big Payday, the 16th of November. And I had my Bitcoin in cold storage. I was just going to keep it until I had like the amount that I wanted to have, and then just started watching Richard Hart, and everything just made sense, right? Like then I was like, why would I hold this coin? 16th of November, August. So in here, when Bitcoin started to run, that was actually pretty terrible because Bitcoin outran, like, and Hex dumped 80%. So I was really, really darn disappointed in what I did, because I knew never to risk more than 5%. I had all of those very important risk management. Like that was my game, like risk management, never putting more than 5% on any which coin, never going all in a coin. And just simply my whole my thesis about the market changed when I got into Hex. Love your work. I know the feeling, it was nerve-wracking. It wasn't easy getting into Hex in the early days. Lots of fun, yeah. And you were, I got the sense or the idea from you that you were more of a conventional or traditional market. So I could imagine, because yeah, you were pretty much alone in it and just making your content. So I could just imagine, and now I check you on YouTube, and you're a lot like me, like taking on the people, especially when they start fudding. I can really appreciate that. You're on my thumbnail today. Plugged your channel just an hour ago. I'll check it out. I haven't watched any YouTube today, so I'll definitely check it out. Can confirm Senju if you're speaking the truth. Yeah. Chad, would it be better to buy Hex now or wait for dump after Pulsechain launch? I have notifications on, and so on is live. It's 1 a.m. in Sydney. You do like 12 p.m. Streams. I'm like, dude, you're up late anyway, so. But please watch the replay. Do not stay past your bedtime. I mean, sleep is incredibly important. Cheers, Hans. Always appreciate your overview, as I'm not a TA guy. Cool. So to get to your Hex question, like I can't give you financial advice, right? But this is where value is at. We see the cipher, just to show you guys where you can find it. Just type in cipher and you'll see the one with the most indicators. There's a Wu Man Chu cipher. Now I just look at for the weekly dots. Can't tell you what all of these different indicators are, but I know where the divergences are, what the divergences look like, excuse me, and also that this green dot is a go time, right? And we have higher lows down here. Now this is not all the data for Hex, but I mean we've never been this low on the indicator on the MACD. So yeah, I mean this is where value is at, right? And as a granny trader, you're only allowed to get it inside of this square or below. So I mean, this is incredibly valuable down here. Hex is incredibly undervalued. And these pumps, let's just show you on LTO, the bounces out of these areas can be incredibly violent. I look at this LTO that we just looked at. This is almost like 100%, and this happened yesterday on the Sunday. Look at these pumps out of these areas. And the altcoins like to do that because the liquidity is so low. They simply just pump out of these areas and do like 200% moves in a few hours. They tend to come down to their breakout levels. This is the breakout level down here. You see it tends to come down, especially when you've got these. So it did like 260%. And what I would have done, I would have had a sell order up here to sell half when it doubles, and then to get back in when it gets to the reload zone, which is the area down here between the 61.8 and the 78.6 level. So yeah, I mean I can't tell you what to do, but these things are starting to pop off, right? LTO is just one of them that I've quickly looked at. And what I want to do is quickly take a look at the Bitcoin dominance. Now we're starting to trend higher on the Bitcoin dominance. This means that the altcoins are starting to lose value versus Bitcoin. But they'll hold on to the USD value. We have divergences up here, so this might actually be the top. But this is a violent uptrend. So yeah, it's hard to say, but what my thesis is for when Pulsechain eventually launches, and everybody seems to be saying the same thing, that when Pulsechain releases, and we can just get an idea of where Hex might be going when the announcement finally happens. Let's just find the bottom down here. And there's so much upside on these charts. Like I would not be surprised if we pump all the way out here, and we don't even need the Pulsechain news. Like just from the current price to the 2.36, and Gann theory states that this can go all the way to the 50% before doing a retracement. Let's just put on that 50%. There's the 0.5. I mean, look at the gains you can get all the way to the 50%. And this has to happen eventually. Like markets tend to bounce all the way to the 50% from their highs if they've done like 80 to 70%. So like a 700% move. So yeah, I can't tell you what to do, but what I would do is I would be getting a lot of Hex here and staking it, especially getting a staking ladder if that is something that I don't have. Now my staking ladder is pretty much complete already, so yeah, so that is my what I think, Chad, about buying Hex now and waiting for the dump. So let's just say it goes like to the 14, and then the breakout point is down here. So this is, you'd be lucky to get it at the 7 cents area if you get this massive pop off. It then would come down to the breakout zone. So I don't think we're going to be seeing these prices for very long, especially not after a pump. because it's going to do something stupid when it finally comes out, because everyone thinks you should speculate on. Yeah, and this is what I think. It can even go a bit lower, probably like that, before popping off. Yeah, so it's always scary to be buying down here. And Richard Hart keeps telling everyone that we're going to see 10K. And I'm of the opinion that we've already bottomed, right? So yeah. I mean, if we look at other coins, very few of them have these massive gains to their 32 and their 38.2 and even their 50%. Let's just measure it to there. I know FTM looks really good. Let's look at Sushi. Sushi Swap. For some reason, this coin wants to go. I've looked at some of the news about it. And we'll just cover some of the things that I like to look out for coins that have bottomed. Firstly, you're looking for market structure. Now, market structure is simply a fancy way of saying that you've got higher lows. So you can see that this low is the lowest and it's been defended. Now, Hex, unfortunately, made a new low. Let's just work with two charts. But Hex exclusively trades on decentralized exchanges. The liquidity is very low, and we know that's a feature and not a bug. So, yeah, this was the low over here. So if I wanted it to be perfect, I would have wanted it to hold its low down here. But unfortunately, it made a new low, but only with that wick. So that's the difference between really good market structure and something that's not great. But I mean, this shows divergences on the RSI. Like the price is going lower and you work your RSI divergences off candle bodies. Or I like to do it off candle bodies. You can see the price is going lower, yet the indicator is flat or up. That is bullish divergence. So there's lots of momentum down here, but yet the price is going down. So yeah, let's just go back to Sushi. So the first two things we look out for. The first thing you look out for is location, right? Is it within the reload zone? And we can see that the reload zone is in here. And not only are we inside of it, we are well below it, right? And we can make that the green color. So that shows where this is where the professionals go long. And how they play it is they dollar cost average at every single fib level. And in this case, we can just remove the other fib levels. We only need the 61.8 and the 78.6 level. You can remove the 50 as well. Yeah, so the first one is location. The second one is market structure. Do you have higher lows? And we do have that. And generally in investing, you want more than two, let's say more than two reasons to take a trade, right? And when this finally breaks out up here at $1.6, I mean, this thing is going to moon. SushiSwap is a decentralized exchange. You can buy Hex on it. SushiSwap was the first vampire attack in DeFi. Uniswap had all of the liquidity, and when SushiSwap launched, they launched with this coin. And if you if you moved your liquidity to SushiSwap, you would have started earning this incentive token, SushiSwap. Now it has a lot of inflation, and I'm not really sure if it has product market fit. Like, it doesn't really do anything, right? But that's the thing about cryptocurrencies. Like, fundamental reasons don't really give you the reason why things pump, right? Generally, you can tell a lot more by looking at the charts. Okay, yeah, let's do that comparison we wanted to do. And we'll see how far. Just from here all the way up to the 38.2 is like 500%. What was it on Hex? Also almost 600%. So you can just see from looking at the best charts, Hex compares to them very well, all right? Nathan, what's up, dude? A good play could be to buy now, get your copy, bridge over the EHEX, and join the liquidity pool to earn fees. That together with your ladders on both chains. Yeah, I mean, so lots of people are speculating that you will get your dump on the ETH Hex side as people are playing that exact same strategy. What's up, Hans? Finally found your channel a while back, and great job. Very valuable, concentrated information. Shot Motley Brew, that means a lot coming from you guys. And I really appreciate you guys watching. So, I mean, the upside from here is incredible. Let's just quickly go back to SushiSwap and see what kind of retracement it did. Like 80 to 95% retracements. I always tell you guys this, is that it's so normal. I mean, this was mainstream during the DeFi summer, and it's done 96% retracement. For a coin to do a 90% retracement in its first market cycle is so incredibly normal and what you would expect. Because for us to have massive upside in the next cycle, you need large retracements like these, right? Let's just look at the Bitcoin index. Now, this is all of the data from Bitcoin. And I put it on the log chart because otherwise, yeah. Okay, so this was the first downtrend in Bitcoin's history, right? Look at this retracement. That's a 93% retracement in Bitcoin. Now, we get all these people telling us that Hex is a scam. After Hex's first market cycle, how... This is, I mean, to be expected, right? I mean, for us to do 94%, it's so normal. And you see the green dots down here. This is why I'm telling you guys, these green dots down here. And this is the weekly chart. These are very powerful. And they're showing up not only on the Bitcoin chart now, with the indicators this low, with divergences as well. Let's just go back to X to show you guys. We have green dots on the cipher down here. And it's already confirmed. What I mean with confirmed is that there's already, the new week has already started. So this green dot over here is confirmed. The last time we got a green dot, we pumped up 100%, right? These things happen incredibly quickly, so... And I know I'm going against what Richard Hart is saying here now. And that's not really, what you say, very popular. But I'm just simply looking at the charts. And what I feel he might be not looking at is that we've gotten diminishing returns to the upside on Bitcoin over the years, right? I've covered this in other charts as well. The first run was, not the first run, the first one was like 320%. 320,000%, excuse me. The second market cycle was only 62,000 gains. This is very normal for a coin that started at zero to have diminishing returns over. It's very, very important. Because you can't continue going on like this, right? Then the third cycle, we only did like 11,000%. And this cycle, even worse, we got 2,000%. And not only that, we can measure the downside moves. The first down move was, as we looked earlier, like 94%. The next one was lower at only, this was the low here actually, 86%. to the downside. And you can see the pattern here, right? Every time the upside is lower and every time after that the downside is even lower. This one was quite deep, but it's still lower than the previous one at like 84%. And now for us to see like a 74% or 75% retracement on Bitcoin, it would coincide with what happened previously, right? So yeah, let's just go back here. Hex Pulse, you are right, hard to find good content these days. Hans is a good dude with good content, and that's why I also chill with the Legion dudes. Most of the rest is spoo. Yeah, I've seen the shout outs in the Legion. I'm in that channel, although I don't sit a lot of time in the telegrams. I read that one actually. I really like Motley and Wendy's, and Dixon Piper is also one of my favorite guys. I don't think he's part of the Legion, but he's streamed with you guys a lot. So yeah. What's my view on Cake? I mean, that's like the incentive token that we're going to be having on, what do you call it? On Pulse X, right? So this just gives you the idea, and this is quite bullish, right? Of what Pulse, the incentive token might do, right? Let's just go to the daily. So this is farmed when you stake liquidity on Binance Smart Chain, BSC, inside of what is their DEX's name? Now I forgot. Pancake Swap. So this is your incentive token, right? You see eventually it comes out, like most coins it dumps. I remember getting the free airdrop. I was playing around with all of the chains like in the new year. And this was exactly on the new year. Steph actually sold the perfect top on Hex. I actually watch his wallet a lot, like when he sells. Steph from Staker. Sorry guys, I'm all over the place, but there's so much to talk about, right? So yeah, I played around with this on Binance Pulsechain. I got like 200 of this coin. Probably sold the bottom, whatever. So yeah, with the incentive token release, we can probably measure it from here as they actually traded down there. I do not expect it to do that well. We did like a 50% retracement. Let's see from the top, a 73% retracement. And then it actually popped off, right? Because when there's something new on the market, people are going to buy it, right? Did this massive run up. You can see the beautiful market structure, the higher lows down here. And yeah, this is like the incentive token. So for us to get like 400% move on the incentive token, very possible, even more. Because there's so many people that are involved with this. And then you have your slow bleed, right? Which is just the bear market. Just once again, like fundamentals do not really matter that much. For this, there's no reason for this to pump like this. It has incredible, a bunch of inflation, right? And it's going to do another run, most likely. Now, this is not an endorsement to go out and buy this, right? I'm just showing you. And this also did a 94% retracement. Very, very normal for a coin to do this in its first cycle, on its first downtrend. So if Hex is a scam, then everything else is a scam as well. This is very bullish. This looks like it's ready to go. Like many of these altcoins, like really look like they're ready to go, including Hex. And you can look for divergences. But it doesn't look like we got divergences here. And your green dot down here as well, with the buy divergence as well. So yeah, many of these coins are ready to go. What might happen is Bitcoin might take off, right? And all of these coins, because they trade versus Bitcoin, their USD values will increase. But their BTC values will be going down, and that's what we're seeing with the Bitcoin dominance. as this rises, Bitcoin gains more dominance in the market, right? I hope you guys are keeping up because I'm sharing a lot of difficult details. Yeah, I watch Motley. I know. Also watches it. Yeah, he literally only sells Hedron. Like he said it in the previous stream you guys did together, right? You were there, Motley. He literally only sells Hedron, and he sells a lot. He's got like 280 million Hex just on that one wallet. Now he's not using that wallet anymore. Because lots of people looked at it, and Silver the Antidote leaked it on New Year's Day. 2020, right? So he's definitely using another wallet as his main wallet now. Yeah, he sells the local top every time. Now you can put you can receive emails from Etherscan. So yeah, so there's a little bit of okay, so you probably know some of his newer wallets, because that would be logical for him to make new wallets after you've been doxxed. And then you can just use the exchange to send out and no one can find you again. So yeah. I mean, Hex is doing really well right now. We're up like almost 3% on the day. Cool. Let's quickly cover the XW now. I've seen some FUD on Twitter as well, and Motley actually, I remember the tweet exchange we had. Up here he said, yeah, this is dangerous up here, we shouldn't be talking about it. But that's the thing with the market, right? Now this is XW, this is Hex on the ETH of proof of work, and we're already down 91%, and on the RSI we still have some downwards to go. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if we do like 95% on this. So yeah, this is still not ready to go. And Motley, he was right when he said this was overvalued here. And I had that video, I even made a short about it to tell you guys that this is dangerous up here, right? This went way too quickly up to the upside. And but you know how it is, you get caught up with the hype like so much that it's this is the markets overall, but you need to get into the habit of making your own decisions, right? So yeah, this has more downside to go. We haven't even created higher lows on the RSI. But what is good to see that at least half of the, oh, you probably can't see this because my face is in front of it. Let me move my face quickly. You can see that 26K, almost like half of this liquidity, a little bit less than half of the liquidity is on the buy side. So there are buy orders down here, people that want to buy some. Now once again, you're not getting this copied to the other side. This is just Hex on that side. I got in early, I shared my Kyber swap links and things. I put in like almost nothing, but I got a lot of free coins because most of the people clicked on my link. But my point is, I still haven't sold this. Like, I'm fully staked still. Like, my first stake is coming up now. I staked everything for like 30 days. And I'm just going to stake it again until three years from now, where I suspect the top will be again. Because, I mean, guys, these cycles are the same every time. 3 years up, 1,000 days up. Like, that's about 3 years, right? And then you've got a year's downside when you should start dollar cost averaging again, right? So let's just quickly look at the dollar. Like, we've been moving sideways here, and this is the opposite of the buy market structure. This is what is called an M. So if this gets rejected here and we finally break down here, I'd be pretty convinced that if we break below 10.10, I'm pretty sure that the top is now in. Remember, this is the same as that we got at the top of Bitcoin, right? Everybody was saying we're going to 100K. This time it's different. This is a super cycle this time. Can you remember all of that crap? So yeah, and we all got caught up. Like, I was super bullish at the top. For Hex as well. We were all just looking at upside targets. So this is why I feel that this time, with the war, the rumors of war, the insane inflation we have, this is the same argument as this time it's different, right? And this is pretty bearish. And the bullish divergences, we've got massive divergences up here. Look at the red dots up here. This is the same as back here. Divergences, red divergences, and then you've got your, what was this? This was like 2019. And if you overlay this, let's just remove everything. What I'm doing now is I'm putting the dollar index, the strength of the dollar over the Bitcoin chart. And you can see when the dollar finally bottoms and then obviously wants to start running, your risk assets like Bitcoin starts to top as well. And then as it rises, people flee their risk on assets into the dollar, right? And now this has created higher lows up here, but those are the candle bodies. But as we can see, as this started to top out here, but this is not to say that this is a top in the dollar, right? I'm just speculating, right? You can see then that you start bottoming, right, on the Bitcoin chart. If this would have been the top in the dollar, this coincides with the bottom in Bitcoin. Now we can also add US dollar tether dominance. Now this just shows the dominance, the amount of money that is held in tether in the overall market. We can see how this moves with the dollar index, but I'm just going to remove it because there's a lot on the chart now. And check how this coincides with Bitcoin as well. When it finally bottomed, we reached the top in Bitcoin, right? Pumped up a little bit again, this fake out, and we created higher lows down here and another high. And then as people start fleeing into US dollar tether, I'm just using tether as it's still the most dominant stable coin, and most of the money is still held in here in tether, and most of the USD tether is traded on exchanges, where the USDC, I would say, is mostly traded on chain, on Ethereum, Polygon, and all of those others. Maybe we can add, because this just jumped into my mind, the BUSD dominance. Does it have that? No. Okay. Because that is the Binance stablecoin, and Binance has pretty much taken over already. But what I wanted to tell to you guys is this, once again, is the opposite of good market structure, right? We can see the M again. For bullish, you want a W. For bearish, you want an M. It's just simply lower highs, right? This high is lower than that low. And we can see that this looks like a topping signal, which means that as the dominance of tether goes down to your 5% area, that's just people leaving the stable coins to go into Bitcoin. Or then it just flows. It flows in a cycle, right? It goes from Bitcoin to the medium caps to the low caps. Pulse Dogecoin is about to pump into the short range. Chances it goes parabolic until Pulse airdrop is released. Look, I don't really like Pulse Doge, right? PLSD. Damn, it's almost at $6. So there is a bit of insider knowledge going around. I haven't looked if it's been released yet. Yeah, we're coming into the short zone in here. We could just see how high the RSI is already. But this looks good. Like I got some down here and sold it at like 4 for some gas. I was over it when I found out how it's going to work. So the Crypto Sparbook guys actually leaked it in their stream with Karim, which was weird to me. Why do they know what is going on, but the rest of the market do not know? So how it's going to work is you need to stake this coin in a staking protocol to earn Pulse Bitcoin. So I do not even think Pulse Bitcoin is not going to be an airdrop. It is going to be a reward for staking this coin. Right, they're playing off the staking like Ivan on Tech said recently. But look at these wicks, dude. Someone is exiting here, like taking this opportunity to exit. Once again, this red box is the opposite of the green box. This is where the professionals go short. Like I tweeted the same about Hedron. So when you want this price pump to defeat this and not make these M's or lower highs, and then otherwise you have death to the downside, then we're going to come back all the way to the breakout zone, which is at 3.6. I'm pretty sure that is going to happen because this is a buy the rumor, sell the news event, eh? And we've seen this a few times in Hex with these coins now already, right? So don't be the guy that's buying the top again like Steph told you guys. Okay? So yeah, you're going to be needing to stake your Pulse Doge coin to get Pulse Bitcoin. What I thought it might be before I heard this is that you might need to hold maybe this in your wallet to be able to claim an airdrop, but it's not at all going to work like that. And I mean, let's go to the website quickly. This is the Pulse Bitcoin. And there's nothing, and you can look at the Twitter, you can scroll through the Telegram. I've done this to see more details, but there's no details. The only hint that is given is if you press hint here, it takes you to the Pulse Dogecoin, right? So yeah, the hint is you need Pulse Dogecoin. Now I thought maybe you'd have to hold this in your wallet to get the airdrop, but what I found out is that, and this is the thing with streamer privilege, right? That for some reason they're sharing insider knowledge, and I do not like that, man. I want the market to be fair, right? Otherwise, they're just using you as exit liquidity. Yeah, but I mean, everybody looks for an edge in the market, and you cannot blame them for doing that because there's literally real money on the line. But I still love Hex, and I sold my airdrop back here into Hex, and I staked it, and I do not regret it at all. Let's look at it versus Hex, the ratio. No, let's just PLSD. I'll get to your chat now, dudes. Let's see here. Lots of people are selling X now, right, to get into Pulse Dogecoin. But it's typical, it's a retail, like, this is quite good to see. We've still held this low down here, and we still haven't broken it. So Hex is still defending its price versus Pulse Dogecoin. Now, Pulse Dogecoin's not valuable here. It's overvalued versus Hex, right? I'll just show you where value is at, right? Up here, if you're going to be like that and swap your Pulse Doge for Hex, this is where you should be swapping it when the price gets here. Now we'll see if we break lows down here, if Pulse Doge gains more strength, but I doubt it. I think the bottom is in on this ratio. And when Hex starts to run, you'll just see people flee out this position. This just tells you that Pulse Doge is topped out versus Hex, right? Wolverine is buying lol. Have you guys seen the wick the dude created on the Hedron chart? Okay, let's go all the way up. He was yeah, your videos was good. I just had an issue was people not showing the risk in causing emotional moves to FOMO in the top. Yeah, I mean, Marty, do that, so true. And that is cool that you care about them, because, but at the end of the day, dude, you can scream from the top of your lungs, they're still going to buy the top. We can see with the whole Zen situation, like, they were after a 99.7% dip, they're still hanging on to the hope that it might do something, right? You got to look after our coins on change, on all change, just in case. Very glad Alex and Dipcatcher built the UI so fast. I like the fact that it increases the longevity a little bit more. I'm not saying ETH or Pulsechain is going to fail at all. It's just another backup, right? And Richard Hart always said that, and it's on the Hex.com website, that what if Hex fails? Hex.com/scam. He says it in here. Oh my gosh. Just give me a second, guys. Am I too late? Somewhere here, but everybody needs to go read this website, hex.com/scam. But it says here that if the consensus layer like Ethereum fails, we can simply airdrop the system state to any other EVM chain. And I thought that was a meme, like, no jokes. I didn't think it was possible, but obviously Pulsechain came afterwards, and we saw the testnet, and the ETH forks just proved to me that it is possible and viable, because it has some value still on that side, right? So yeah, I'm not a fan of PLSD. I feel it's a little bit of a vampire attack. But once again, I mean, things like Dogecoin pump, there's no fundamental value here, right? It's simply just a change of an icon, like Richard Hart says, and it just pumps every year. This is the weekly chart. You can just see the insane gains it gets. So it doesn't mean it can't pump, but I do not see it how it benefits Hex in any way, except it gave us lots of coins, free coins, and I'm super appreciative of that, if anything, right? I've been having issue connecting to my ETHW stakes via Alex's platform. For some reason my stakes won't load. I actually loaded my stake today. Maybe delete cookies, yeah, I have no idea. But his front end is very finicky, like the version 3 front end. So I've gotten some of the same errors, because I've created single-sided liquidity pools, and I'm having trouble creating new ones. So there's definitely errors there. Pulse Doge about to pump into the short range. Chances go parabolic until the Pulsechain ends. Chances it goes parabolic. I mean, it's pretty parabolic already, right? And like, without giving you financial advice, I showed you guys where I'd be exiting this, right? If you read between the lines of my colored boxes. I think a catalyst for ETH-W and ETH-F capitulation will be the announcement of Pulsechain v3. That's very possible, because if we see a dump on EX, I'd be pretty sure that people are going to exit their positions on ETH-W. But there are people that are now emotionally and financially invested in that chain. So I do not think it's going to disappear, because there's liquidity coming into it, which is strange. It might be some of the Chinese guys that are playing around there actually getting into Hex. Weight token is a slow rug. I've got weight up here. I haven't claimed it. I'm not going to claim it. I'm not risking my coins, my sacrificed coins. Some of you might have different opinions, but I mean, it's held its uptrend. We had a pump. What's the liquidity like? I mean, there are some buy orders down here. Like half of the liquidity is USDC. I'm pretty down there now. Let me just move myself up a bit. I don't think it's a rug. I'd be scared as hell if I claimed this and this was a rug, because then I feel your wallets might be exposed. So I won't go as far as to say that. I mean, unless they do something more to this coin, maybe add a staking feature like the Pulse Dogecoin guys. I do not see this doing really well. But I mean, dude, everything pumps in the bull market, right? And if we continue making like higher lows, you might actually see a pump in this. But I won't go out and buy some of this. Like, I'm not even going to claim my coins. It just loads forever. I'll keep it open. That blue line should be an indicator below chart, not on it. Spenny, I do not know what you're talking about, dude. The advances in defaults on Hedron takes forever to load. He is apparently building a new front end. Like downloading the old BTC legacy wallet, yeah, takes forever. Oh, you have been in crypto a long time then, bro. Wolverine is dumping lol. Maybe he wants to build his position in X again. I didn't think he's sold X. Like he's blocked me for some reason. I don't know what I said. I think Wolverine is praying for the end of the world. I found another Hex shark who has almost as large position as Gunther. All it takes is one of these guys to lose faith and it's a race to the bottom. To many other opportunities to pursue. Is this in relation to Pulse ETH-W? Yeah. But, dude, they can easily, I'm sure there's some guys that have enough liquid to just absolutely destroy the price on ETH-W. You're absolutely right. But what I like is that there's very little liquidity for them to dump into. So they can pretty much get out if they wanted to. They'll just wouldn't harvest much. If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't know half of what's going on with the other projects. I really appreciate your insights. It's a pleasure. Like, I spend a lot of time looking at these things, but I mean, if I talk about these things, it's not, I'm not endorsing it, right? I just like learning about these things, and yeah, I'm very open to discussing it with you guys. At the end of the day, I cannot be talking about other coins when I hold like 99% of Hex. Like, I struggle a lot with that, and I can't, and I'm never telling you guys to go out and do something that I'm not doing. Stake it is the only way to get it, right? If you've been staked throughout this bear market, you've gained a darn lot of coins, right? Now I know who it is, and it's not the founder. I was actually surprised when I discovered who it was. I'm not sure who you're talking about. Let me read your previous one again. I found another Hex who almost has as large position as Gunther. All it takes is to one of these guys to... Oh, you're talking about Pulse Doge. Of course, okay. Yeah, definitely. And I mean, the liquidity is... well, it's split evenly across lots of coins, like 300 a year, 700k a year. The Hedron one is almost $500,000. So overall, there's about $1 million liquidity, a little bit less. But if you're selling into USDC, I don't think it's routing through all of the others. It might route through Hedron as well and push the price down there as well. Yeah, I don't like it. But now you can stake it if you do and gain some more. Oh my goodness, guys, I'm losing the chat. Okay, you know it's not the founder, so it's not Hex Info. I was actually surprised when I discovered who it was. That is the thing, if you've got information like that, dude, large players, and you know who they are, that's very valuable. UTs are... Insiders on insiders tell us. Yeah, I never disclose that info. Yeah, I do not think we should be doxing people's wallets. That's not cool. And replay attacks are actually a threat if we start. And wrench attacks as well. I hate people that give away other people's privacy. I totally agree. But I still personally watch. Yeah, that's... I'll watch Steph's wallets, but I'll never show his wallet address. It upsets me when people make bad investments. It's like they scam themselves. Richard R. tweet. Dude, that's the thing. Like, retail is scared here. They're literally scared to buy here. And most of us get into the market because we hear our friends talking about it, right? And we start feeling FOMO because the price starts running away from you. So that is why as soon as this price starts moving, you'll just see how money that you never thought was laying about is coming into it. That guy from Coast is real salty after the coffee interview. He thinks coffee fighted them and caused the sell-off. Interesting. Supposedly the white guys have a fiat on and off ramp. They're bringing Pulsechain, but we'll see. Yeah, I think you'll stake the coins to lower the fees, collect fees from users. I haven't looked into it much. So staking the white token through the... I know there's a fee related to it. Probably. There's actually 0x Coast. Is it .com? It looks like there's 3 coins that they're planning on doing, right? Let me show you guys. The white token, CST, they've actually released the name, so this is new, and then Tide. You see 3 coins here. So I mean, there's still room for improvement, right? That guy from Coast, okay, I'm bearish AF towards Pulsechain and X. Of course you are. Everybody is bearish at the bottom, like everybody is bullish at the top, right? But I haven't been more bullish since the top. And this is coming from someone that's been in this market for an incredibly long time. Too long. Like I've aged rapidly. If comparing Hex to Bitcoin or Ethereum, do you think Hex will go up close to the same amount of X's this bull cycle? X is better than Bitcoin. I really do think so. like you need to remember that most of the coins is not even on the market. Like only 10% is on the market, and of those 10%, it's even less than that. I think maybe 14%. I haven't looked at the. No, those details aren't public anymore, right? But I'm pretty sure, like, let's say 10%, and of that 10%, 75% of the people are staked. And it's that high because people have lost their positions. If comparing Hex to, okay, we've done that. The white guys are Aussies, I believe. I claimed a small amount on a small wallet during the white pump because of the news. Let's see what happened. That pump was brutal because many people exited on that pump, right? And the wick on that thing is ugh. Reading the comments backward doesn't do well for the context of the comments. Should I start from the bottom? Or how do you guys... I'm new to this, so... Pulsechain has been massively watered down after the new information coming out on this development. Check my tweet that I said, right? Some things that are still true about Pulsechain, and correct me if I'm wrong on some of these things, because I might be wrong on the faster blocks, right? The ETH proof of work forks was the largest airdrop, but when Pulse eventually drops, it will be the largest because many coins still have inflation. Like most of the coins on the markets are constantly inflating, right? And new coins come to market daily, like the Zen thing, whatever. So it's still going to be the largest airdrop that ever was when it eventually comes, right? This shouldn't be harvested, this should be diluted. The large bag holders are getting diluted. What this means is, because we're increasing the supply of the Ethereum by, what, 10,000x, I think? There's 10,000x more Pulse, even more probably, I'm not quite sure. My numbers aren't correct, so... that means people like Vitalik, Grayscale are getting diluted. I mean, the value of their coins. I actually had this conversation with Richard Hart on Telegram when he announced the launch. And he told me there that do not hold Ethereum. Like, you're going to be absolutely diluted. Whereas if you look at the ETH Fair and the ETHW, like these guys got a lot of coins, and look how they dumped the market, right? It's just a continuous dump, those guys that didn't believe about this coin. And this is not going to be happening to Pulsechain. They do not have that much supply. And the ETH even worse. And Grayscale, which is an institution, they're pretty much waiting for this to pump in the bull market before they're going to be loading off. And many people are waiting. Like some of these large ETH bag holders, like we've seen with the Godwell, these people are incredibly patient, right? They're waiting for this to pump so they can exit. I mean, they can't exit here. The liquidity is way too low. We can cover some more stuff. Number 3, the proof of work forks gave lots of coins to whale wallets that still have to dump. Okay, yeah, we've covered that. Faster blocks. I'm not sure if this is correct. Right, we have a higher burn rate. What they're saying is they're massaging the burn rate, which means they're trying to implement a higher burn rate, which is good. It's still the same value proposition that we have. Lower transaction fees. Now remember, the transaction fees on Ethereum is calculated by the value of Ethereum, right? A Gwei is equal to a Satoshi, like it's the same mechanism, right? So if you decrease the value of one Ethereum by 10,000x, 10,000 times, I should say, then you're decreasing the value of a Gwei as well. So the transaction fees are still going to be like 10,000 times cheaper than it is on Ethereum, right? Without even changing Gwei or anything, or sharding on anything, right? That is the best way. I mean, it's a super smart way to decrease the transaction fees, right? Yeah, lower transaction fees because we increased the supply drastically to reduce the gray value per transaction. The Richard Hart brand, right? I mean, guys, this guy, he's a really good marketer. Some might say he's not that good, but still, he's created a coin that's done 10,000x. Just that value proposition has brought in thousands of people. I mean, from all of the streamers that missed out on Hex, all of the crypto content creators are pretty much in it. If they haven't said so publicly yet. The best marketing in the form of Hex content creators. Like I watched this other time that Bitcoin chick, Bitcoin girl, or crypto girl, I think her name is. Like she's a Bitcoin streamer. She gets like 12 viewers. I mean, I've got 27 users, 27 viewers now, and she's got 20 times more subscribers than me. And we can just look, and I mentioned it previously in my other streams as well. Just look at what we did for the Zen token. I mean, the amount of publicity that the Zen token got from the Hex streamers is worth $4 million burnt Ethereum, literally. What else? The best, a launch with a native DEX and a working bridge. We can just see the panic that we had, right? When the ETH proof of work forks happened. Like everyone was scurrying to find a DEX to trade on. And there wasn't liquidity at all. And we're launching with that on the go, right? With most of the liquidity harvested, so you can actually dump your coins without pushing the price down. And a working bridge. It took like 2 weeks for us to have a working bridge, and I'm still not confident to use a bridge. And we have the best bridge forks. And we're starting from zero. So do check your tax advisors, but this is very good for taxes for some people in some jurisdictions. Yeah, I haven't thought of more, but I'm sure there are more reasons that I'm missing. So yeah, I mean, do not be afraid, guys. I know it's scary now, but once again, why launch in the bottom, like while we're in the middle of a massive bear market, right? A global recession. Oh, I probably can't say that. So yeah, I mean, there's so much. Yeah, I'm not afraid. I'm excited. Pulsechain has massively. Okay. I'm not gonna make it. No, don't get discouraged, guys. I mean, this is where you're supposed to be learning, right? Like really, you are supposed to be learning in the bear market. I always say that it might not feel like it, but you are. You're supposed to be absorbing this. You need to go further down into the rabbit hole. That Jake guy, he sounds like he has a Dutch accent. He's also making content. He has this mastermind group. He's a newish streamer, and he is a software engineer as well. And he says a very valid thing, like, I mean, the fact that Dogecoin and Shiba Coin pumped just tells you that these things will do really well. I mean, and just check out the layer 1 coins like FTM. The developers have left. They've pretty much just created Ponzinomics. It's down 94%. It looked like it's made a new low. Yeah, it's made a new low, just like X. Interesting. And this is its first market cycle. And look at the pump it did, like from its bottom, right? 220,000%. And it didn't have a system state copy. It literally has a bunch of Ponzinomics smart contracts on it. That's all it had going for it. And it had Andre Grenier, a a dev, probably the most popular Solidity dev outside of. He's probably the most. He's not the best. He's probably the most famous after Vitalik, right? Like he was all the vibe. He's now quit this project. But once again, this is going to have another run. It's just the way it is. We might not like it, but it will. And if Pulsechain does not outperform this, I'd be darn as surprised. And it launched actually in a really good time. Let's just see when it launched. What am I doing? What was this? October. Okay, so it's been around since 2018 actually. It didn't do much. So it launched like literally October 2018. Yeah, so it launched here. Like here. And we're launching Pulsechain somewhere in here, hopefully. Because I think the bottom is in, right? And this is where we're currently at for Bitcoin. Now, this is my opinion, right? This is just what I think. And obviously, I can be very wrong. I'm simply a dude on the internet. So if we launch up here, I mean, look at the insane gain we can do. And this just shows you, even if there's a 50% dump still in Bitcoin left, just look at what these coins do if they launch in the bear market. And if you're that good to time it really well, I'm not saying he's timing it, how can you not get these gains? And this launched without a DEX, this launched without native, without the system state copy. It's incredibly slow. It's so clunky, this blockchain. Like, I've played once with it and never did it again. I mean, you can look at like Harmony 1. This has like a few games on it, right? When did this launch? A bit lower, a bit after it, in July. This was well into the bear market already. And look what this did. 34,000%, a little bit less. And it has games on it, like dollar cost average. He's also an ex-YouTuber. Probably all of you know him. He was heavily into, but he's now told his people to get out of this coin. But I do not think it's a good idea to exit the coin when it's down 95% and it's defending its lows. Like this is higher lows, I think. It's the same as Hex, pretty much. It's made a new low. Come on, move. Yeah, it's made a new low. It looks a lot like Hex. Oh, no, wait. No, actually, it's defended its low. Hate it or date it, this is going to run again, right? So we've covered some of the things else I wanted to cover. Hit the like button. Yes, guys, if you do enjoy my content, do like it. Subscribe if you want to see more in the future. New information, looks like we will get Pulsechain sooner rather than later. Yes, dude. Now we don't have to test all of that software, right? We're getting like much better. And I still like Ethereum, like the things that it made possible. It made Hex possible, right? And there's no reason to doubt it. And I do like forking 2.0. I do like that. BSC fork to a fork of ETH. I don't know what you mean by watered down. Just once again, like look at the guys that are fudding on Twitter, right? It's guys with these like 100 followers. And then look at the guys that like it. Now, Steph is, he's not funning it. He's a funny character. He's being sarcastic. Okay. So the guys that actually like it are guys that have been around and that are building, like Alex as well. Alex from Hedron, the developer of Hedron, also likes the fact that we're forking 2.0. I mean, if you're listening to what Eric Wall is saying, the guy said that Richard Hart can't go to the US, and literally a few months after that, Richard Hart was in the US. And that guy has offered to buy Pulsechain of people that want to exit, right? There was never going to be a major tech change, as Richard likes to use tech that's been regularly battle tested. BSC has had critical flaws, yeah. And it's not much faster than Ethereum itself. And it's getting expensive as well. I have faith you'll make it, Ortega. Yeah, dude, we're all gonna make it in the end. We do have a better product now. Think about it, buddy. Pulsechain will be Pulse, and Pulse will also have Pulse and Pulse X, making it even bigger. Yeah. And hundreds of different products. But once again, Ethereum did 10,000x without any cool products. I mean, when Uniswap came out a little bit after the Hex launch, right? That was December 2019 when Hex came out. Oh my word. 2018. Am I wrong now? No, we did come out in 2019. Yeah, okay, so this was the high up here. Seems like my mouse is screwed up. So Ethereum did a 335,000% move without any good products on it. So yeah, with all of the improvements on it, and we're launching with 2.0, this was still proof of work. Negative externalities, these miners had to pay their electricity bills, right? So they had to sell down the price. None of that on Pulsechain. No products. There was like ETH Lend, which is now Aave. Some of the DAOs existed, but very few products, if any, existed, right? And we did some insane gains. And then once again, which is normal, you get 94% retracements in the bear market. Because you need this volatility to the downside for massive gains in the future. You really do. Some influencers that followed Hex sacked for Pulse and Pulse X, yes. Some very famous ones, including BitBoy. So excited about the Richard Hart ecosystem, I can hardly keep my pants on. Yeah, dude. And remember, there's going to be more airdrops to the Hexican stakers. Do not forget that. Like, Maddie predicted it perfectly, and there's going to be more. Please keep them on. Keep your pants on, bro. This is Hans, and I am Frans, and we are here to pump your crypto up. Yes. Share this channel on your favorite SMPs. Yeah, do that. This has been... How long have we been live? It's been an hour and a half already. It felt like so quickly. Have I covered everything that I wanted to cover? I mean, we haven't even looked at the Hex pairs, like Hex versus BTC. Now, this hasn't printed a green candle yet, but we've still held the lows that we've created back here. Now, this is ratio trading. This is what we're going to be doing on Pulse X. I mean, these charts, in fact, look much better than the USDC pairs, the fiat pairs. And I used to only look at altcoins that traded against BTC and Ethereum. This is how I made most of my gains. And the reason I say this is good, because we've still held this low in July versus Bitcoin. This is really good market structure. You can just see this massive W here, right? I mean, and it's so beautifully rounded. We've broken downtrends, and when we break above this level, we're going to the moon. So that's Hex versus BTC. Let's look at Hex versus Ethereum. Green dots a few weeks ago already. There's bullish divergences here as well on the RSI. It looks really good versus Ethereum. And we've almost come back to do the Wyckoff check. This is the retest of the breakout level back here. So it looks good. We've made a new low, although back here the same time we did with the fiat pair, right? Okay, so just we've covered the Pulsechain updates, and we see that Hex is trending on CoinMarketCap, all of our favorite what is it called? Coin ranking site, right? Okay, with that being said, thank you guys for watching it. It's been awesome talking to you guys, and I'll see you guys in the next video. So cheers for now, and bye bye.